lie. They hide behind a lie and don't want to let the truth come forward.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you, Drew. Let me ask you a question, brother.
Yeah.
Because being that you have such experience with this, I never lived in California. The closest I got to California was when I was in the military, going to the Mojave Desert to train. The
You headed towards
training center. But
okay.
let me ask you this though: that being that you've been intimately involved, and the feeling that you get, man, when you may genuinely like someone, and they may genuinely like you, but because of the religious practice that they grew up under, right? They've been taught that a black person is evil, pretty much, and to stay away from that. And you're being a black man now, okay, nobody's perfect, but I'm not an evil person. I run around here trying to be the devil or nothing like that. How did that make you feel, man, when you found out that, okay, that wow, just because this particular individual's religious practice a certain way, their parents won't even allow us to see each other. And then and does that do something to your manhood, number one? And then does it do to you as a black man, a black individual?
I had a really good teacher about this situation, and like my dad and I didn't have the greatest relationship, but one thing he told me was that, look, he just told me as it was. My dad was like, look, I need to talk to you. I said, yeah, sure. I said, what's going on? And he was just like, I know that you are less inclined to date what society thinks you should date. That's the way he put it to me. And I said, that's true. And he said, I know that's true. And he's like, and I want you to do that. He's like, I'm not telling you not to. I never would. But what I am telling you is just be aware that there might be some situations where people will be warm to you. And there'll be some situations where things might be difficult. And he said, as long as you're aware of that, have at it. He said, just be aware of that, And essentially what he's telling me is there's going to be people that like you and don't like you.
Sure.
There's going to be people that are going to make a situation due to their parents or whatever like that. And I'm going to have to learn how to deal with it. So when those situations happened, it was more like I was more hurt because I liked the person. Or I was liking the person, right? We were dating early. I was liking the person, or we dated a while and I liked the person. That's where the hurt came from. As far as like whatever weirdness their parents had, I didn't let that really bother me. And I think I shared with you. Yeah, I shared with you. It's like my wife and I told you I had to fight her father. And that was what it was like, but I explained to you that the best relationships are the ones you have to fight for, that both of you have to fight for.
Both of you,
because it makes you guys really work well together and gel together if that's what's meant to be. If she's meant to be with you and you're meant to be with her, when these fights come, you guys will get together and fight it out like Batman and Robin if that's what you got to do. And it will bring you closer and stronger together. And your relationship, you won't take it for granted. So this whole thing of people getting divorced and all that, when you fight for a relationship as hard as I fought, that conversation never comes up. We work through everything. And plus, we don't have any crazy problems anyway, but just normal stuff. We work through everything and we're solid as solid can be.
Not to interrupt you, but that's a great breakdown there, Drew, because what it tells you, what you're saying in that particular story, concerning you and your wife, you said you fought for it. You had to fight the concept of racism because one side of the family was feeling a certain way about your relationship. And this is kind of what I'm alluding to, even in religion. And this is why people they really just denounce the religion now, for the most part, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the concept, the original concept of religion today is not the same as it was in the beginning.
Right.
It had to do with inclusiveness. It had to do with togetherness. It's the concept and understanding of man and the human nature, the evil side of that causes division.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That division is where we have to deal with that part. And it's too easy sometimes to say, well, I'm a Christian, so I don't mess with the Muslims. Or I'm a Muslim, I don't mess with so and so. And all these things, and that's division. Or even in Christianity, I'm a Baptist. Well, I'm a Church of God in Christ. I'm Catholic. All of these things in every religion. Here's the problem now. There's the workings of the enemy in a sense. There's meaning that there's divisiveness. There's divisive measures being applied one way or another. So, like, one thing I keep encouraging spirituality because it's necessary in your life as a man or woman. That you also, when you examine religion, when you see divisiveness, that's never going to be the road to go. But it's just the people who sell divisiveness with the religious mask on, as though they mean well, but they're really bringing separation, really inciting more anger instead of coming to the point of resolution there, right? So, Keith, let me ask you a question, brother. Understanding religion, and like our church, it's non-denomination.
Yes.
Let me ask you about just like in the Mormon side, right? The divisiveness here on our side in Christianity, denominational side.
Yes.
And we try to get over that hump where we look to be inclusive to all people. Let me say this first. I love people.
Right.
Supposed to love people. I don't care if you're black, white, Chinese, it don't matter. And when we get back to that particular understanding, we love people, but now you don't necessarily love what people do sometimes. And that's okay. That part is okay. But I don't lose my love for humanity because a white person did this to me. A black person did this to me. An Asian person did this to me, so I hate all Asians. A Puerto Rican Mexican did this to me, so I hate all Mexicans. See, that's a slippery slope. And it's a broad brush you start to paint people with.
That's right.
Keith, the resolution, a formal resolution, and also if you identify anything else to bring into the conversation, what, in your opinion, would you tell a young man or woman? They've gone through a hard time, brokenness. They're listening more to the world. They don't understand religion. They're just being told religion is bad. Or they're being told by one group, hate these people because they did this to you, or hate them people because they did that. What would you say, in what direction would you really point them? And we know we want to point them to Jesus Christ, but I'm talking about in a way, where they can understand it from where they are. Because everyone don't know the Peter, Paul's, Apollos, and all. They don't understand that language, but they do know the Freds. They know the Ray-Rays. They know the people in their family and the people in their community and the people, that's in their life. How do we communicate a message of inclusiveness?
Number one, when I talk to a lot of young people, I kind of definitely hear the story that Drew, I like what his father told him. I had a similar conversation with my oldest son because he traveled with me a lot while I was in the Marine Corps. So he didn't know one standard race. He was always around multi-ethnicities.
Right.
And he was really confused because he did like one more than another, just he was attracted to him. And I wasn't as diplomatic as your dad was. I was pretty straightforward. I said, listen, you can date the same race and they can treat you worse than another race that will love you more. You connect with the one that's going to be the one that's going to pretty much ride and die with you.
That's right.
That y'all on the same platform, same understanding, and one area you cannot discord is same faith. And your faith has to be anchored in your first and foremost, your own individual relationship. You have to have that first.
Yeah.
Then you will understand the deeper things, and you won't be discriminative. You won't be prejudiced. You won't be judgmental, because you will recognize how long and how hard it has taken you to get to that relationship that you desire. And so you're going to give some space and some grace. But what I would say to young people today, if you never heard of the Bible, if you never heard a name of a God, but you feel that this God exists, be quiet and go somewhere and say, I'm open to see, to hear, to smell, all my senses, that you make yourself real to me, till I see the fullness of who you are. You doing that, you inviting God into every facet of your life, for God to show you himself, not through anything else, but himself, or who he really is and how he operates. Then you will get a better appreciation from the other outside teachings of who is God, who is Savior, who is Redeemer, who is Creator, who is all these adjectives of names that really comes in one package.
Right, right.
But you got to be open first to receive from him.
Correct.
So it's basically telling them, block out the noise.
Right. Block out the noise. That's right.
Block out the noise, because the noise always causes turbulence. Just block out the noise.
Right. And
like,
what Drew had said about, I could imagine emotionally where you probably were, because you had an affection for that person at the time. When that's interrupted by religion, that's almost like an indelible mark in your psyche.
Yes.
It's an indelible mark in your psyche, and it may make you make a bad association concerning religion. You may go down, man, oh man, I got a bad taste for this, but you said something that was remarkable, and I think stands out, and I think that people should pay attention to this. That when you get somebody, and Pastor Keith made a good association to this as well. Somebody that's gonna ride or die with you.
Yeah.
That means that don't have nothing to do with your color, your nationality, or nothing.
That's right.
But when you get in a stuck place and you think, I only got to date white people, I only got to date black people, I only got to date, when you get in that, like Pastor Keith said, it's people of your own race that treat you worse than anything. Let's talk about it.
That's right.
And so to me, this is my true opinion, and I'm kind of outspoken about it, and this is how I feel, because you have to call right, and wrong. The Mormon Church is wrong. Call it like that.
Absolutely.
And I would invite any person who is a part of the Mormon Church who feel they want to defend it logically, without someone getting mad, without hurling insults, get in contact with myself or Drew, and we'll bring you on the show, and we'll have a good conversation concerning it. Because in 2023, hearing like on the Roland Martin show, Roland Martin spoke of this. I mean, a segment with an African-American woman who had been part of the Mormon Church since she was 18 years old.
Yeah.
So first of all, and the concept, she was beguiled in the beginning, because the woman said, oh, they treated me so nice.
That's right.
me out to dinner. They've let me sleep at their homes. I didn't see them arguing. I saw that in my household. I didn't see you see, the devil got a slick way.
That's right.
Drawing you in. Now,
right.
That's at an individual level. She got drawn in by the false concept of something that she thought she wanted. They presented it to her in the way that she thought she wanted it. But when she got to it, she found out that that wasn't what she wanted at all. And so this is what I would tell. I would tell the young men and women now, when you searching for God, you're in a place, like Pastor said, it's your personal time with God. But never be drawn to a place.
That's right.
Never be drawn to a place where there's division. And this woman, the woman that was on Roland Martin, said that, you know, she had fell in love, I guess, with one of the white parishioners of the Mormon Church they were going to.
Yep.
And they were contemplating marriage, but guess what? That they couldn't do it. Because the leadership, here's about your leadership. This is why I always talk about leadership. You're only as good as the leadership that you're under.
Right.
You're under poor leadership. Look, I've been in military. I mean, Keith been in the Marines. I'm a combat veteran. We've been in combat situations. You're only as good as the leadership.
That's right.
Following. So it's important that religion, from the understanding, the original understanding, meaning a closer connection and understanding of God. That's what it was supposed to mean. That's it. It wasn't supposed to be controlling. It wasn't supposed to be divisive. It's supposed to be inclusive. Even in saying the Lord's Prayer, we know it, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. You don't say nothing in there about don't date black people. Only date your race. Hate the other people because they did wrong. So you say forgive. You have to learn how to forgive the trespasses that have been brought on you so you can be forgiven.
That's right.
See, this is where we at. Nobody want to forgive. Yeah, you got a right to be angry, but you don't have a right to sin.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Go ahead. I'm gonna give it to you right here. I stand against the theology of the Mormon Church.
Yeah.
From a practical perspective, there is no divisiveness in Christianity. Only people who say that there is